when they moved forward with the, oh, my slide's going bonkers. When they moved forward with the second edition, they wanted to really focus on connections, engagement, and inspiring learning, because they know that interactions lead to the development of core skills, but you can't, and those core skills being how the children relate, how they regulate themselves, their ability to think, and their ability to communicate. These are core skills. And if they can have those core skills, then they're more likely to thrive, which is the overall goal, right? Is for our children to thrive. So when they did that, when they really focused on the connection, engagement, and inspiring, you see these symbols, the heart and the gear and the little cloud. If you guys recall, if you ever done any trainings with me, I've always said that emotional support is the heart, which is one of the domains. And this needs to switch. Where you connect and where you engage is classroom organization, and inspiring learning is instructional support. Ta-da! So I guess they got tired of trying to draw the brain, and they decided to make instructional support the little thought cloud, and they have the gear for classroom organization. And if you were in trainings with me, I said that emotional support was the heart, and the classroom organization was the skeleton that holds things together and holds it up, and that instructional support was the brain, where we get the children to think. So it's still the same concepts, it's still the same intentions, it's just got a fresh face to it. So it increases access. And if you look on page 1, it talks about increasing access to the information and implementation to the class users, making it more understandable. It measures for impacts that are normal children experiences, that are most of the experiences. There were, some of you may recall that there were, you know, you may have had maybe a cultural thing, like, I know you did not just throw that shoe on the ground. And the teacher and the child are both laughing. However, if you just took those words out of context, it would have been like, she just put him down. No, they were laughing, they were joking. It's a cultural thing. So it measures the impact and focuses on that. But one of the biggest things it focuses on and changes that I saw that when I was learning this tool and becoming an observer in the tool is it supports more of the it's more equitable in that if you had a special needs child in the classroom, it recognizes that more and makes it more inclusive. So it still has the class framework. It honors individuals and cultural variations and ways of being, and individualizes interactions to support every child. Now it's not the majority of the children anymore, it's every child, because it tries to be more inclusive. Effective interactions that are beneficial to every child. However, it's also more understanding about special needs and things like that. And we'll get into that a little bit more. So, pop quiz. What is one key shift for the second edition?
Do you want us to read it? It says one key shift in class second edition is that the focus is now placed on the each and every rather than emphasizing the focus of the average child.
Okay. Do you see me?
Yes.
Yes, I see you.
But you don't see the slide.
I do not.
Okay.
I can see the slides.
Did you see what I read? Did you hear what I read? Is that what you wanted?
Yes, that's what I wanted. Yes.
Okay.
Let me see if I can fix this.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Is that better?
No, it's just white.
Give it a minute. Now, can you see the slide?
No.
No.
Now I can't see nothing now.
Seems like you're taking it
It
away
was
from some of
working.
them.
Okay.
This is what it's supposed to look like. No. Should we
Can you
sign
see-
out and sign back in?
Can you guys see the slide now?
No.
No.
Does
I have
anybody
it.
see?
I see it. I can see the
I
slide.
see it.
Okay.
I can see it too.
As
All
long
right.
as you're going by what we printed off, then I'm good. I can just follow along on the paper version.
Okay. I can also send you guys a copy of the PowerPoint too afterwards. So if you
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
put in the chat who it is that cannot see the slides, I'll be sure to send you a copy of the PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so the slide says one key shift, and like Ms. Raina said, thank you very much, Ms. Raina, is that it focuses on each and every child rather than the average child. So, and that is a fact. Now, do you think this is fact or fiction? The question is, while Class Second Edition recognizes the importance of considerations for observing across diversity of contexts, there's a certain way all effective interactions should look, sound, and feel. Do you think that's fact or fiction?
Class second edition.
I'm hearing a couple of fictions.
I would say fiction, yeah.
It is fiction. And the second edition recognizes that more than the first edition ever did. So, good news on that. And somehow I put this in here twice. I'm not sure. All right, emotional support domain. Okay, so before we get to emotional support domain, on page 2 in your crosswalk, you'll see the key changes listed there. Take a moment to read those and let me know if you have any questions. All right, and just give me a thumbs up when you're done. Or if you don't have your camera on, put your hands up since we have some challenges. Is there anybody still reading that needs to read? Everybody good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Miss Carrie, do you have a question? Nope.
No,
Okay. All right. You just let me know you're done. I appreciate that. All right. So then we're going to move to page 3, and you'll see on page 3 it has a little legend there. It's important to be able to understand what's going on as we go and move on to the next sections of the crosswalk. It talks about the line indicates the 2008 behavior markers that are not included in second class edition. If you see a plus, it indicates behavior markers that have been added. So, and then the arrow indicates behavior markers that have been divided or merged, and we're going to pay really close attention to those. And the revolving circle with the arrows going around like this, an update that adds clarity and a grammatical change. Okay, so now we're on page 4. Emotional positive climate is the first dimension for emotional support. Okay, so you'll see the second edition is in black and the 2008 is in the white on your crosswalk. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I also have it up on the screen for those of you who can see it, and I do apologize. I'm sorry that for those who can't see the slide, but I will definitely send you a copy. Oh, cool. I like the thumbs up in the chat. Awesome. All right. So you can see that where it says relationships, they updated the verbiage. They have matched affect, peer assistance, shared activities, social conversation, and physical proximity was the original. and they updated it to emotional connection, group or community orientation, collaborative activities, and social conversation.
That was a circle, right?
And they removed physical proximity. So the physical proximity is no longer a behavior marker, but that does not mean that it can't be counted. So just because they removed it as a, because what, if you've been in my training, what do I say behavior markers about me, behavior markers? They are not, anybody remember? They are not a checklist. Behavior markers are not a checklist. They are just evidence, the most commonly seen evidence in the classroom that support the indicator, and the indicator is relationships. Does everybody understand what an indicator is? So an indicator is what you're actually being measured by. This is what we're, as an observer, we're looking for evidence on. So in this case, we're looking for evidence of relationships. So in the second edition, that evidence is seen as emotional connection, group or community orientation, and collaborative activities in social conversation. And when we have, when it describes this stuff, it goes into relationships being described as educators and children demonstrate authentic personal connections by showing genuine care and interest in one another, collaborating in activities, sharing space, and engaging in social conversations that communicate interest in each other's lives beyond the learning setting. Educator, child, and peer relationships are close, warm, supportive, creative, creating an inclusive culture. So now it's no longer about, you know, how close the teacher is, and but you're sharing space and you're sharing activities and you're sharing conversations and things like that. Everybody good?
Yes.
Lily, can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Okay. When do they normally come to observe? What month?
There is no set time for that.
I mean,
They
do you
can
give us a,
observe.
do you
they
give us
can
a
obs-
time to relate to our kids when we get them next year?
So if you're talking about a VPK program,
Right.
um, I'm gonna have to look it up. I think it's 5 days for summer and 15 days for school year. I'm gonna have to look that up though.
So we have
But
15
school
days.
readiness, school readiness is definitely 15 days.
Okay. All right.
So,
I was just wondering.
but I can definitely look that up and get back to you.
All right. Thank you.
Matter of fact, I'm writing that down right now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So when you look at the rest of the indicators, take a moment to look at those. Which one stands out? Is there anything that stands out to you? Any changes?
Let me see. I like the one that says communicates intent.
I like the eye contact, though. It doesn't have it on there.
Yeah, they took it out.
I think eye contact is very important.
Unless you are autistic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So they're trying to make it more inclusive. And remember that behavior markers are not, they're not what?
For all the children. Yeah.
Checklist.
They're not a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
So eye contact can still be used as evidence. It's just not listed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They changed cooperation from and or to just or.
They
So it's not
did.
and or, it's only or.
Yeah. It's or.
I was hoping somebody would catch that. So
Yeah.
now cooperation or sharing. You don't have to see evidence of both. It can be one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it depends on how early you come to observe. They're still learning to share.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, they add content appearance. What that means?
Content appearance on positive effect.
Mhm.
Okay, so basically what that's talking about is educators and children verbally and non-verbally demonstrate warmth and shared affection toward one another. Educators convey positive expectations for children that communicate their belief in the children's skills and efforts. Communications are genuine and well received by the children. So when it's talking about content appearance, it means that the content itself is positive and well received by the children.
It's kind of like explaining the ones that they are above, right? Like smiling,
Mm-hmm.
louder, and enthusiasm. It's kind of
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of that, but it's not just about the physical smiling and laughter. It's about what you're saying as well, verbally and non-verbally. So when you're saying things like, Judy, I love the way you're helping someone put the toys away. That's a positive affect, because then the child is by the way that the child responds, whether they smile at you or they respond to you positively.
It's the way that you communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So you have positive communication where it talks about how the teacher communicates, but you have positive affect where it shows the impact your communication has with the child.
Yes.
Does that make more sense if I
Yep.
put it that way?
And like you're engaging with them while you're doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any questions about positive climate before we move on? All good?
All good.
All right.
We're
Okay. So negative affect. Negative affect went to expressed negativity.
mm-hmm.
And they removed harsh voice and yelling.
Mm-hmm. Victimization too.
Yeah. And they put physical punishment or aggression under severe negativity.
Yeah.
And then they put stereotyping or discriminating where in place of teasing.
Teasing, yeah.
Because sometimes teasing is playful, especially in certain cultures.
Yes.
And so they put disrespect, shaming or criticizing, and then they just put punishment, period.
Yep.
So, any questions about that?
Very clear.
Yeah.
Why did they take out yelling?
They took out yelling because they put express negativity.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they put punitive control. So yelling would more likely like show up in express negativity
Okay.
as evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I can't stress enough that behavior markers are not a checklist, so that doesn't mean it won't still count. But it depends on how you're yelling. So one of the things that came up in a lot of observations is some teachers, it may sound like yelling to someone else,
Yeah.
The tone, it's all in the
but
tone.
sometimes that's just their voice.
It's
Yeah.
the tone, yeah.
Yeah. And the children are not like scared or anything.
Yeah.
They're not running for the
No.
hills. They understand
Right.
that this is their teacher, this is her voice. And, and some people can't help the way their voices sound. So it has to have it has to be expressed negativity. It has to be punitive control. It has to be clear cut. The child is being affected negatively by this type of thing. You can't just mark someone as negative climate just because they're yelling. Well, what are they yelling about? How does it impact the child? This is more clarification as much for the observers as it is for those who are being observed in a lot of ways. So
So Lily, so even like you're not discriminating against culture or anything like that. The people that are coming to observe us also have been taught. Don't judge us by, you have to look at our culture. Some of us are just loud. We just
yeah,
like culture.
that's why the second edition has come out the way it
Yeah.
has.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, right?
Agreed.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Whoopa, right?
Wepa.
No huepa. Yeah.
Um, all right. So now we're on to educator sensitivity.
Mhm.
And then at anybody remember when I said the break was during our agenda? I think I said 7 o'clock,
7
right?
o'clock.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Who wants to be my person to remind me when it's 7 o'clock? Since I have a tendency to talk.
I'll tell you, Lily.
You'll tell me? Okay.
I'm Mama Maria. I got
Yeah,
you.
that's true. You always got me. For those of you who don't know, this is my Mama Maria from Kinderoo. She put up with me so well and taught me so many things.
Still teaching.
Still teaching, yes, still teaching. So before the coalition, there was College of Central Florida, and before College of Central Florida was Kinderoo. Kinderoo started it all. So now less about me and more about this, so we can get through this. Educator sensitivity. Any questions about educator sensitivity? Is everybody got it in front of them?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think about how they changed the behavior expectations? It went from clear expectations to just be clear, period. Just, oh, that's in behavior management. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of you. Educator sensitivity, my apologies. So notices need for clarification, assistance, or challenge. So instead of noticing a lack of understanding or difficulties, like some kids' faces, they just look confused normally.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had students like that in your classroom?
Yep.
Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they
They're
just
like
look
deep in
confused all the
thought.
time?
Yeah.
So the teacher, so they're looking for the teacher to notice the need for clarification and assistance or challenge and giving that, rather than looking at the student and noticing a lack of understanding or difficulties.
Difficulty.
Mhm.
So that's kind of a shift.
What happened?
But everything else is pretty much the same, except for the fact that they broke down helps resolve problems to scaffolds children to resolve problems for themselves
Mhm.
and gives an effective resolution.
Now. Yeah.
And they changed it from student comfort to child comfort. They're
Right.
starting to recognize that, hey, just because this is a tool that goes all the way up to third grade, these are kids,
Yeah.
you know?
Good.
Yeah.
How about the thing about seek support and guidance? It was added.
That one was under child comfort, right?
Comfort, yeah.
Yeah. So seek support and guidance. So before we had freely participates and takes risks. Okay, well, let's talk about that. It's if the child participates but gets hurt and won't go to the teacher, there's a problem. It's if they're not willing to seek help from the teacher, there's a problem there. So we want to make sure that the teacher is capable of comforting the children, not just getting them involved in activities, but that they have enough trust in each other, enough of a relationship between each other that if a child gets hurt, they're going to go to the teacher to help. So we want to make sure that the children are seeking support, that if they have questions, they are showing that they feel comfortable talking to the teacher or they feel comfortable going to them for help.
Okay.
rather than just freely participating in activities. So,
Okay.
does that answer the
It makes-
question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. So a lot of clarification in the second edition. Are you guys seeing that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wait till you see the dimension guides that are $35 each and about to go up.
Whoa.
Whoa.
The dimension guides have a lot of meat in them, and it goes even further to talk about examples about different situations and scenarios. And I will be delivering a class on second edition in July. I'll start it in July. So hopefully I'll have funds for it, for incentives by then, because we out of money now. But it's the end of the year. You guys know how it goes. So I will be starting that. And if you guys remember MMCI or class group coaching, it's going to be the second edition version of that. But you'll get dimension guides in that class.
Okay.
So regard for child perspective. Excuse me. Is everybody on page 7?
7. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Take a moment to look at that. Anything stand out to you?
Mm.
So you get
Okay.
measured by indicators. Remember that. And what did we
Yeah.
say were the indicators?
Have a checklist.
Well, the behavior markers are not a checklist, but the indicators are what you're being measured by.
Measured
The behavior
by, yep.
markers is what
The
we use
evidence.
to give evidence, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys notice anything about these indicators?
It's more relaxed,
Yeah.
structured.
So this original
Okay.
indicator
It's more clear.
was flexibility and student focus.
Mm-hmm.
Now the indicator is child-centered.
Child.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
So, and flexibility is now a behavior marker. It's not an indicator.
Hmm.
So that was a this one actually got me when I was first learning the new tool. That one got me because I was like, no, there's no evidence of flexibility. This can't work. No, that doesn't matter anymore. It's a behavior marker now, and a behavior marker is not a checklist. So it has to be child-centered. Because I was like, no, this is a low score. There's no flexibility. There's only half the indicator there. And I was like, nope, new tool. It just has to be child-centered. So,
I have a question about that,
About
Sure.
this one.
about the restriction of movement.
It switched to
Mhm.
allows.
It has switched to allows movement. Now, would that count against us if like we have one child that is up and moving around in the class doing her own little thing instead of being in the group like for circle time and stuff?
She's an
no,
autistic child.
no,
Okay.
it's not gonna count against you. As a matter of fact, that's allowing movement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's changed.
What is best practice though, and what we do look at is, do you try to include the child? Do you make an
Yeah.
effort to try to include the child?
Okay.
You know,
She's
do you,
autistic and she just doesn't like to sit on the carpet or in a chair. She'd rather
Mhm.
be up just moving around. So,
and that's perfectly fine. As a matter
okay.
of fact, this
Told
tool
you.
is geared to include those types of things happening in the classroom. That's
Okay,
why it
thank you.
says relaxed
Allow.
structure.
I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
And it says children can wiggle or fidget and that you allow movement.
I like that.
I do
Okay.
too. I love that.
Yep.
Makes
Yep. Um,
So Lily, if do you, when you say you encourage them to come, but if we ask them, we see that they're away from the group. If they don't want to join us, do we have to literally get up, go to them and bring them to us? Or it's
No.
okay to leave them there?
No,
No.
you just have to like you have to acknowledge their existence,
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yes,
And you have to give them every opportunity
yes.
to join you. It doesn't mean that
Whenever
you have
they're
to go
ready.
physically pick them up and drag them
No, I
to
wouldn't
the,
drink.
to
I
the
wouldn't do
circle.
that. No.
Seriously,
That's
yeah.
counterproductive, and not to mention
Yeah,
that's punitive control. We don't want punitive
absolutely.
control here,
No,
right?
no. Right.
No. So, that comes back to your child centered and you're showing flexibility. You're meeting
Mm-hmm.
the child where they're at,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
And if you
With
have the majority of the students
right.
there on the carpet with you, even though we're looking at all the students, you have the majority there. So, there's still an average experience going on
Okay.
with the majority of the students. Even though we're looking at all of them,
Mm-hmm.
we want to make sure that you're not ignoring Johnny who's over here,
Sure.
that
Sure,
you
sure.
you do acknowledge his existence, and
Mm-hmm.
say, hey Johnny, if you would, come, and
Yeah.
then maybe somewhere in between things encourage him again and ask him to come join you.
When
Okay.
But
you're ready. Say when you're ready. Yeah.
yeah, when
Yeah.
you're
Say when you're
ready,
ready is usually what I tell them.
yeah,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're ready, come join us, and then
Mm-hmm.
just kind of check in, like, if you're on the carpet for like, this is not like this is not something you write down in your notes and say Lily said 15 minutes, but it's just,
Yeah.
but if you've been reading a book and you're about halfway through the book and you see something that that child relates to,
Right. That's
She
why
will
and you
come.
mention
I
it
get
and
them
you
back. Yeah.
include them,
I do.
you want to
Yeah.
see things like that. You want
Okay.
to make sure that the teacher is attempting to try to include the child.
Mhm.
Another question I have, Lily, what do you um when you have an ABA in your class,
Hmm.
are they gonna look for certain things from her so as we're working with that person, or how's that all gonna work?
So when you have an ABA in the class, if you're in VPK, they're looking at the lead teacher and the
Okay.
aide.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
If you are um, in school readiness, we're
Okay.
looking at everybody.
All right.
Everybody gets measured.
Got it.
Um, if you have concerns about an ABA being in the classroom, even if they're in the VPK classroom, um, what I would do is I would communicate that with Melissa Masonet, who is your quality program assessment manager. She's your quality assessment manager. Communicate with her. Say, hey, I have concerns. Because one of the things they ask for is a schedule. What is your classroom schedule? They ask the classroom schedule to be sent to them. So that way they're not coming during nap time. They're not, they try to come at the most optimal time to get the most information and the most authentic observation from you guys. Um, so the key is communication with the
Okay.
quality assessment manager, Melissa Masonet.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
I just wanted to say something. What you're talking
Sure.
about earlier, for like when we do like a morning meeting get together, my class, I do have a few that like to take a moment and sit back and kind of do their thing. So they know in my class that they can like they have some books or like a cozy area that they're more than welcome to sit and do that. Because we do have like spaces set up for the day that we haven't gone
Hmm.
over yet. So I mean they know they have like a certain thing that they can do and chill out. And, I'll try to, after I'm done with a song or done with a story, or like you say, try to call them over right when we're about to read it or in the middle. They usually want to join after you do like maybe one song and then come and do something next. But just let them knowing that they're allowed to get up, they're allowed to sit by themselves and read a book. It works out more in our favor because they end up wanting to come back knowing that we're not telling them like, you have to come, you have to come. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And if
Just
that's a routine that you've set in place, it's going to show itself evident.
Okay.
yeah.
It's going to show itself evident. And, and I've seen you in your classroom, you reinforce it. I've had the privilege of being able to see you work a little bit, Rihanna. When I did
Yeah.
my internship, it was a pleasure. Um, I've seen you encourage them once they've joined you, like, oh, thank you, look who joined us. I've seen you do that, and that is acknowledgement as well.
I want to try not to like consider like, hey, we're all coming to morning meeting, let's put everything away and come on, guys, like just more, like freely, like, hey, anybody want to join us on the carpet so we can enjoy it more, make it more like it's not mandatory, guys. Like we all must come on, but more exciting and fun to
Like
like all sit
inviting,
together.
like inviting,
Hey,
yeah.
before we
Yeah.
go play and roam around the class freely, why don't we all come together?
It's a
That's what I'm
natural
trying to
progression.
think about,
Okay.
Yeah.
do it differently.
It's your classroom. You can do it.
Good point.
You could do it however you like. In order to call them over, do we have to be, I have a couple of questions in here in the chat. Are students allowed to be treated during VPK hours for speech and occupational therapy in the classroom? That is a really good question.
Yeah.
Let me write that down and get back to you on that, Erin. That is a really, really good question. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not gonna lie. I have seen like in Head Start programs and stuff where there'll be an ABA working with the child during VPK, but it's not like a normal therapy session. It's like they're actually they're like another teacher in the classroom. So I'm gonna have to ask that one. And
I
then,
used to work at Kid City and they had people come, but they came after like the VPK hours and worked with them, but I don't know the true answer to it.
yeah, I'm gonna research that and get back to you. Make sure I give you the right answer. All right. In order to call, and then I got another one. In order to call them over, do we have to be at a certain proximity to them? Is calling them over from across the room putting them on the spot? That is a good question too, Stephanie. I think it's going to depend on the kid because some kids love the spotlight.
Yeah.
Because some kids will love it. As far as observations are concerned, it's about, if we go back to positive climate, if you go to, I think that was page, who knows what page positive climate was in? Page 4, right? If you go back to positive climate, it talks about sharing space when it describes positive climate, where the teacher and the students are sharing space. You don't necessarily have to be in close proximity to call a child over. Your tone is going to determine a lot. I mean, if you're calling over and you're like
volume.
I mean, there's a point of, hey, Johnny, and I'm going to warn you guys before I do this, so cover your ears if this is going to hurt. There's a difference between that and Johnny, it's like, so it's more going to be like not so much as how far away you are when you're calling the child, as much as how you're calling the child and how the child reacts to you. Are you scaring the crap out of them? Or, I mean, are you scaring them? Or, or are you
encouraging them?
Encouraging them. So you are sharing space. So that is, sharing space is part of that whole positive climate. But did that answer your question, Miss Stephanie? Yes. Okay. Beautiful.
Hey Lily, when you get these answers, questions answered, can you let us all know the answer?
Yeah, I can send them.
See
It looks like
possible?
everybody wants a copy of the PowerPoint. Is that correct?
See.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of saw that in the chat. So how about I just give the answers to the questions with that as well when I email it?
That'd be great. Thank
Sound
you.
good, guys?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Okay, so it is not quite 7 o'clock, but hey, it's close enough. Everybody should be on page 8. And you'll see that behavior management had a few changes. They added developmentally informed, clear, consistent, accompanied by rationale. Why do you think they put that in there?
Stay there, buddy. What was it?
They, under clear behavior expectations, which now is behavior expectations, it
Mhm.
says developmentally informed, clear, consistent, accompanied by rationale.
Mhm. Proactive monitors, monitors, model relations,
Why do you think they put that in there? If you think about the fact that they're trying to make this all inclusive, and we have to help the children understand why. Exactly. They're trying to make it all inclusive. So the description that they have for it in the dimension guides is educators provide children with clear and consistent behavior expectations, which are effectively communicated to children as needed using verbal or nonverbal methods. So that way it's encompassing of all your special needs children too. These expectations are aligned with the children's developmental needs and abilities, because not all children are going to be able to respond to you. Some of them are nonverbal, right? And abilities in ways that generally allow them to be successful when following through on those expectations. So again, this is so when you're setting expectations for the children, who can give me an example of an expectation in the classroom?
Walking feet.
Walking feet, yeah,
Gentle
walking feet.
hands.
Yeah. So if you say walking feet, use your walking feet, why do you want them to use your walking feet?
Because
So they
we're
don't get
inside
hurt.
and they can bump into each other and hurt
You don't want
hurt
'em to run.
themselves or hurt somebody else.
That is your rationale.
Mhm.
Now, again, the indicator in this section is what? What's the indicator?
The
Consistency,
clear instructions or
Behavior expectations.
consistency.
So if you look on if it helps, you guys can underline the indicators. So those bold, where it says in 2008, clear behavior expectations,
Mm-hmm.
and then second edition says behavior expectations, those are the indicators, the big bold terms. And then the list underneath it, below the line, you see the line where it's underneath behavior expectations and it has a list of behavior markers?
Mm-hmm.
Those are your behavior markers, and your indicators are what observers are looking for evidence of. So if it helps, you can highlight those or circle them.
You said there were behavior what, Lily?
The terminology below the line, below
Yeah.
behavior expectations, are behavior markers,
Markers. Okay.
and they are not a checklist.
Not a check.
So, but they are the most commonly seen examples of evidence for the indicator in the classroom. And the indicator in this case would be behavior expectations.
Lily, I have a question on this. Regarding behavior, sometimes we get students that even though they're 4, they're still at like 3 years old level, but they haven't been labeled and nothing's been confirmed, diagnosed, anything. They haven't. So is that, because you got someone coming in from the outside saying, what's up with it? That type of thing. Not participating or hitting, still, that type of thing, doing stuff that still 2 and 3-year-olds do. How do we help with that when it comes to this observation?
When you're redirecting them,
Okay.
make sure you add why you're redirecting them.
Example.
An example. Okay, so let's say you have that child that is developmentally delayed. They're a COVID child. That's what we're running into now, is all the COVID children that have no social emotional, they're delayed social and emotionally, right? So they, instead of asking for a pencil, they just take their neighbor's pencil.
Yes.
And and the neighbor's pencil gets upset, or the neighbor gets upset,
Yeah.
and you're asking them, you're telling Johnny, hey, if you need a pencil, you just ask for a pencil and I will give you one. Give the
Okay.
pencil back to your neighbor and we'll get you a pencil. You can just ask.
Okay.
You don't have to take someone's pencil. It's not nice to take someone's pencil. It is more work. I'm not going to lie. It is more work. It is more conversation, but it's more content. And in the long run, the child will hear this and eventually it will sink in, as when you put the actions and the words together, when you redirect them. Just like you do in a toddler classroom, it takes, repetition and redirection. When they're developmentally at that toddler stage, but they're in a 4-year-old classroom or a VPK classroom,
Right.
That's why it says developmentally informed.
Okay.
Because you're meeting the child where they are. And when you give that explanation that as to the redirection, the reason behind the redirection, or the clear behavior expectation, we're going to share our pencils. Everybody gets a pencil, pass it down, take one and pass it down, because we're going to share our pencils. When you eventually that will click, hopefully.
Okay.
If not, then hopefully they get a diagnosis. I don't know, but
I have a question.
Yes.
I think it, like, from what she was mentioning, I think maybe what she was trying to say is, like, if a parent approaches you and that this child is, maybe developmentally delayed, and it's obvious in the progress reports, or reports that are going back to parents, and there hasn't been any diagnosis of it, and the parent's approaching you asking you, why is my child doing X, Y, and Z in your class? Like, how do you approach a parent? Like, maybe they should make another step to get them tested, or, like, I don't know how to approach it in a positive way that's not them taking offense to it, or how do you
How do you approach a parent? I do have resources for that I can share with you. And if you want, I can talk to you about it after the training or another time. Because that's a whole nother training, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
But observers aren't going to measure that.
Oh, they won't. Okay.
Yeah. But what I can do is I'm going to make a note here, Rihanna, and I can send you some, because I have some resources. I've had those challenges myself. I had challenges where I had a full-blown parent who had a doctorate degree.
Yeah.
And
worse.
Just know that I think
And-
I know some of the kids that they're mentioning I'm gonna have probably to deal with coming up soon in the next school year. So it's definitely going to be a question I would like to have some answers to.
Yeah, I can tell you at this time quickly that my resources that were very, very helpful for me in the toddler classroom, which is even more of a challenge because they're like, you're just labeling them too early, is the CDC website, Act Early Line, Act Early, Learn the Signs. And they literally have PDFs and videos and everything. It tells you, it has resources to give the family. It has what you talk to, how do you talk to the pediatrician? How do you talk to the family? How the family can talk to the pediatrician, what questions that can be asked. It has the whole shebang. And I can send that to you in an email.
Awesome.
All right. So with behavior management, does anything else stand out to you guys? Any questions? Oh, I love models regulation.
Yeah.
Yes. The teacher models the regulation, not the students, by the way. Yes, Carly, I can send that to you as well.
What is exactly, like, facilitates social skills? Like, because I have a child that doesn't, he's from out of the country, and he understands a lot of back and forth with us, but he doesn't care to speak to us. So,
Well, this is direct. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, what that is, like, if you could find that a little better.
Of course. So facilitate social skills is talking about the teacher facilitates social skills. They create opportunities for the children to work together, to communicate with each other, to learn how to share and how to do things together to create a community. And that the teacher also, for instance, not just modeling, but like we'll use the example of the pencil. You're facilitating social skills when you teach them to ask for a pencil, please. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, that's like today I have kids that, you know, they like to tell me every time somebody accidentally bumps into them, even though they got like bumped
Tattletale.
into and it didn't hurt. They want to tell me, and I don't mind if it's like they're upset, but sometimes like today I was like, "Do you think you guys could have, you know, continued on playing and figured that out yourselves?" Like, you know, they really like wanted to come to me for help. And I was like, "You guys are able to take care of that." And they're like, "Oh yeah, we are. Okay, bye," and just ran off. And so,
You have a positive climate in your classroom.
Yes.
yeah. Like,
Yes,
try
And you
to
have
solve it
educator
yourself.
sensitivity.
yes.
Yeah, I said,
That's
solve it
evidence of it.
yourselves if you can, and then come to me if you can't solve it. I
Yuri.
got you.
We're gonna go, Ree.
Figure it out.
but that's a good thing because that means you have that educator sensitivity going on. That's evidence that they had that relationship with you. But I hear what you're saying, that you want them to have a little more autonomy, right? Everybody good with
Yeah.
behavior management?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Behavior management is always a hot topic, no matter what age or yeah. So second edition, opportunities for learning. They changed it. You still got routines, you still got transitions, you still have preparations. Transitions are only scored when they're observed. That's still in place. Anything stand out to you guys here? Miss Karen, did you have a question?
No,
Billy, we're on page 9.
Yes. Productivity, page 9. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you'll see that they changed students to children.
Yeah.
And did you notice they took out pacing?
Yeah, I noticed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's minimal weighting.
Oh.
Minimal weighting. So they're not so much looking at the pacing of the activities as much as are the children engaged,
Gauge.
right? You don't have a kid over there just waiting to do something. You don't have the kids waiting to do something for 10 minutes out of the 15-minute cycle. You know, it's you want them engaged for the majority of the time. So
I have one kid in my class that's like, it seems like he's bored with almost everything we set up. We like set everything up and he's just like, eh. And he's the one that doesn't speak, you know, to us in English all the time. I'm like, oh, what can we do for him? You know, we gotta like pull everything out of our hat and see what we could do to get him engaged. Because sometimes he's just, I don't know. I mean, we go all out and he's like, okay.
I have faith in
I'm
you.
like,
You'll
oh,
get there. You'll figure it out. I have faith in you. All right. Everybody good with instructional learning format moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So a couple of things about instructional learning format. What do you guys notice? Let me see if you guys notice it.
You had a lot of um, balance involvement, variety of strategies, materials, questions.
I guess teacher involvement could just be like a teacher involving herself in the middle of an activity by giving them supplies they need, but an educator engagement's like really involved in getting the activity set up and communicating and interacting as they're doing it. That's, I guess, the difference.
Yeah, a little bit of a difference. Yeah.
Educator engagement.
Do you notice that modalities and materials has been changed to variation and approach?
Mm.
And now modalities and materials are a behavior marker. They're no longer the indicator. Now it's all about, it's not about materials as much as hands-on or participatory opportunities. Materials are not part of are not part of the indicator anymore. Used to be, we had to look and see if the children were engaging, and what made, if there was interesting materials, and what made materials interesting was what the children were engaged with them. Well, now it's not about materials as much as are there hands-on participatory opportunities. So if you're just clapping hands and singing a song together, that's a hands-on opportunity. If you're doing finger play, that's a hands-on opportunity. It's not so much about different material. We're not as focused on, is there creative materials, interesting and creative materials available. So range of modalities runs into the different approaches. Are you guys doing things that would include auditory learners and include, you know, are you approaching the learning different ways to get the children engaged?
Is it like modifying? You're modifying, sometimes you'll have to modify for other children that just don't learn auditory or even visual, or do a
Yeah,
combination of both type of thing.
it's kind of like a combination of both. It's like during the observation, you want to be able to see that you're not lecturing the whole time, right?
Got it.
Like you are providing hands-on opportunities for them to do things and interact with you and to be engaged.
Okay.
So, all right. Consistent routines is a good ad. I'm sorry I missed that, Miss Kim. I like that. Yep. Okay. So that was the biggest thing I wanted you to see about that. Is anybody got anything else they want to ask?
The effective questioning, they took it out.
Which one?
Effective. Someone help me talk.
Effective questioning.
I can't talk today.
It's
They removed it.
it's in a later dimension.
Oh, they just moved it to another one.
So if you, effective questioning is part of expanding the children's involvement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically, you got to remember they're trying to make this inclusive. So if you have a child that is nonverbal, or you have a child that is hard of hearing, you may have to expand their involvement in different ways other than just questions. And so expanding the children's involvement, even though effective questioning is a behavior marker that can still be evidence towards this indicator, they want the observer to be able to broaden the evidence to look at expanding the children's involvement. I don't know how many of you guys have ever learned the infant tool for this, but part of expanding an infant's involvement or a toddler's involvement is to extend the activity. So like, for instance, if you have, let's say you have someone, and Miss Chrissy was telling me, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Miss Chrissy was telling me how she has centers. And if a child is really into something, she doesn't automatically switch the centers, right? She doesn't restrict the time. She lets them finish their process. And when you extend that, let's say they're playing with beads, and then you extend it by providing something else for them to incorporate with the beads, that's expanding the children's involvement. And it's not necessarily effective questioning though, is it? But it's still expanding the children's involvement. Now, effective questioning does expand involvement. Don't get me wrong. Don't say Lily said, Effective questioning is a behavior marker. Remember, behavior markers are not what?
Checklist.
Indicators.
Not
Indicators.
indicators, and they're not a checklist. That's right. So, but it makes it more inclusive. Do you see how this is trying to be more equitable?
Mhm.
No, maybe.
Yes.
Are you alive out there?
We are.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, one more domain, guys. Hang 10. All right, for this one, we're going to stretch a little bit. If you're able, please stand up. I'm standing up with you. Okay, this one is concept development.
Yeah.
The instructional support domain is probably no, not probably. It is the lowest scoring domain across the state of Florida. And it starts with concept development. And when when they were doing the second edition, they're like, okay, how do we make this more equitable, right? So when you look at analysis and reasoning for the 2008, and you look at analysis and reasoning for the second edition, what stands out to you?
They changed a lot of them to or instead of both.
Yes. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
That leaves more room for more evidence.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be effective why and how questions. It's effective why or how questions. Okay? It doesn't have to be prediction experimentation. It's prediction or experimentation. You guys see that?
Yes.
There's more flexibility for evidence here. It doesn't have to be classification comparison. It's classification or comparison. So, and then you have creating and creativity. Check that out. What is that first one?
Open-end activities.
Open-ended activities or play.
Oh my gosh.
Or
I know I got some
Finally.
Reggio Emilia people here.
That's it. Finally, finally. Woo-hoo.
Who likes to
Finally.
use open-ended activities in their classroom?
Woo-hoo.
We do.
Yes. It is a sign of creativity.
Yes, it
Mhm.
is.
Brainstorming, planning,
Yeah.
producing, all those things are still there, but now it's drawing attention to open-ended activities or play. Oh my gosh, play in the VPK classroom. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Congratulations. We heard you. Teachstone heard you. Okay, how do children learn? They learn through what?
Play.
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 So if you're still standing up with me, which I've seen everybody sit down, just, raise your
tired.
hands. Woo, woo, we can play, we can play, we can play, we can play. Okay. I just had to celebrate that. That was a hard fought battle.
Yeah.
So yes, open-ended activities are play. So elicit prior knowledge, connects to broader concepts, builds on previous knowledge or experience in real-world applications relevant to children's lives. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Everybody good with that?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Next.
I see something in the chat that says instead of just reading the book, ask them questions. I would say do both, Miss Andrea. I would say do both.
Okay.
Or you can even have the children ask you questions.
Okay.
Like, what do you think is going to happen next?
All right.
Oh.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Kim, for that or. All right, so we have quality of feedback. Oops, went too far. Okay. Check out scaffolding. Adds or removes challenge. This is all about meeting the children where they are. Everybody's got different levels of can do in the classroom, right?
Yep.
So it's talking about checking for understanding. How would you know if somebody's checking for understanding?
Asking questions.
I've been doing it to you guys all night.
Asking questions.
Can you explain this to me? And why are we doing it this way?
Questioning,
questions,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, questioning.
Yep. Asking questions, yeah. And if you ask effective questions, that's evidence of what? We saw that in a previous dimension, right? Yeah. So provides hints, offers verbal or nonverbal assistance, adds or removes challenges. So that's all part of scaffolding. Why would you add or remove a challenge?
Oh, they're not ready.
They're not ready. Or maybe they're bored, so you need to add a challenge.
Yep.
Right? That's about making it all inclusive, the classroom inclusive. And I know you guys run into that in pre-K classrooms. You'll have some children that are way up here in their knowledge, and you have children that are way down here in their knowledge. So you got one with the blocks and one's with the magnetic, kinetic, crazy things over tiles over here. You know, you got the ones that are stacking the blocks, and you got the magnetic tiles that are creating spaceships. So you
robotics.
yeah, so you know, so you have to add or remove challenges in order to challenge them in the first place, and you may have to scaffold that. So those are being recognized now as part of scaffolding. So it's not just about hand over hand or, you know, giving hints and things like that. It's about recognizing when teachers remove challenges or add challenges, that's part of the scaffolding process. So now you get credit for that.
Okay.
Kind of cool, right?
Very cool.
So, not that you didn't get credit for it before, but now it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's more apparent. So, language modeling. Oh, language modeling. Language modeling. How many ways can I talk in the classroom? So what page is language modeling on?
13.
13.
Yeah.
And what's after page 13?
The end.
Nothing. We are done.
So guess what that means?
Last page.
We're almost done.
Mhm.
And it's only 7:30, y'all. Crazy. All right. So with that being said, were you guys ready to move on, or was I going too fast?
They're good.
Go.
No, we're good. You're good.
All right, I'm not losing anybody.
No.
I'm checking the chat. Okay. All right. What do you see? There's a lot going on in language modeling, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. What catches your guys' eyes?
To me is that they added expands because in our classroom we've been working on expanding the talks, the points. Like they continue asking more questions, so then we expand more. That way everybody kind of has an opportunity to talk about it too.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And when one child speaks, then the other ones are not embarrassed to speak too. I've noticed that too. They'll join in.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool. One of the things they added was individualized prompts. Why do you think they added that?
To get you talking.
Yeah.
To encourage them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of open-ended questions, now they have open-ended prompts. because they're learning to realize that, you know, sometimes prompting a child to talk does not always involve a question. Depending on that child's development, it may involve body language. You may prompt a child by, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
You know, did I ask a question?
Oh,
No. But I was prompting them, right?
yeah.
You know, so I'm going to read you the definition straight from the guide. Educators use prompts and questions. Check it out, prompts and questions that encourage children to provide extended verbal and non-verbal communications.
It's good.
And give them the time and support needed to respond.
Yeah.
So if you have a child that's learning to talk and they don't respond right away and you're giving them extra time to respond, that counts.
Yeah.
Educators individualize support for children's communications using verbal and nonverbal cues in ways that allow each child to communicate as they are able.
Yeah.
How about that one? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about y'all, but I was excited to see that in writing.
Yeah.
I was like,
We have a
yes.
student that blinks when he wants to do something because he's sometimes a little too shy to talk, and we
Mhm.
still accept it.
Yep. You may now observer may not always see that, so you may have to say, "Oh, I saw you blink." That means that you want to, you know, that's where narration comes into play. That's why you have narration on there. You see the narration?
Yes.
Yeah. So, labeling, describing. That is very important that you have the describing piece in there because we're not going to know who's verbal or nonverbal.
Yeah.
So it's important for you guys to make it clear to us when you're describing things in your classroom or describing their behaviors or you're redirecting them. That gives us the cue that, hey, this child is operating in their best capacity right now. And this is how the teacher teaches them based on their development.
Mm-hmm.
So, any questions about that? Oh, advanced language, varied language.
Yeah.
All right. Educators use a variety of words in different contexts, connect new words to familiar words, definitions, objects, or materials, and use nonverbal cues as needed to help children make connections. Educators introduce children to new vocabulary and prompt them to use these new words to help build understanding. What are some nonverbal ways that you would use language?
Sign language?
Yes,
I do
sign language. And guess what?
Maria.
Guess what? I know this is outside, but hey, I got you. Well, I got you. Time to Sign is to sign up for Time to sign language class on June 13th. The registration's open. So I'm looking for it in, okay. So this includes validating. I'm reading this straight from the Observer's Guidebook, by the way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exchanges in the language modeling focus on promoting and supporting children's communications. Educators may not be fluent in all the children's home languages. They should respect, validate, and encourage children's use of home language in the learning setting. For non-speaking children or children learning the instruction languages, other communication skills are included, such as using gestures or a communication device. Sign language is a gesture.
I love it.
It actually refers to sign language in the infant toddler tool, by the way.
Yeah.
it counts as an advanced language. If educators use multiple languages to facilitate children's understanding, such as connecting new words to words in the child's home language, this may be considered evidence of advanced language.
How about dinosaur words? Nena.
So did you guys hear that? For those of
Yeah.
you who have dual language learners in your classroom?
Yes, that's good.
Finally.
Finally.
Let that sink in. So if you're saying words in English and then you go and you say them in the child's home
Spanish.
language to help them understand, that's evidence of advanced language.
Mm-hmm.
If you may recall in the previous tool, that was not advanced language. They said a pen is a pen no matter what word no matter what language you said it in. Now it counts when you're using the child's home language.
Good. Thank you. Finally.
And your observers all speak Spanish and English, so have fun. You're going to get in trouble if we have a Creole, though.
Oh.
Or Chinese.
Or Chinese, yeah. Very
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had a Chinese child for
you're
the
gonna
longest time.
you're gonna need to communicate with Melissa way ahead of time if you got Chinese in there. Okay, it's like
we have some, yeah.
All right, so prompts versus questions. Thank you, Ms. Kim. Yes, you like that? You like that, Ms. Kim? I like the clarification and narration. It makes more sense. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and then this is one of my biggest wins here, and I take this personal because my first language was Spanish. Educators should focus on the content of a conversation and the meaning of children's language rather than correcting grammatical differences across languages or dialects. For example, if a Latino child says, "Don't want no más," that was me, y'all. That was me. An educator should not imitate the child. Instead, they might say, "Okay, I won't give you more." This way, the educator remains authentic in their own language, but does not discourage or attempt to correct the child's code mixing by requiring the child to repeat the phrase correctly according to the language of instruction.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But that's even in English, Lily. There's kids that talk to us in English and they still saying it a little wrong. We just, like you said, we answer back correctly. Not like, oh no, that's not how it's said, especially if they have speech impairments, frenillo, like the tongue and all that. So we have kids that are having issues with speech. So
yeah, because it discourages them from talking, right?
Exactly.
At least that's how it made me feel.
It embarrasses you. Yeah.
Yeah, I got so embarrassed. I mean, if you can imagine, I stopped talking for a bit. So
Really? Stop talking?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
She's making up for it now.
I sure am. You bet your bottom dollar. So, and it says educators cannot extend children's communication if children do not have opportunities to talk. If there are limited opportunities for children to communicate, the communication extensions indicator could be scored lower. So basically, it's like you want to encourage them to talk. You don't want to like shh, and then you have to eat lunch quietly. That's like, no, we can talk during lunch. So, but I just wanted to share that with you. That was straight out of the Observer Guide. I like to share my information with y'all. The same information I give to you guys. And it was really exciting to me to see how much more the advanced language opened up the evidence that, just being clearly there because it was, I don't know. I don't want to get on a soapbox, especially this late at night, but I hope you guys feel how do you guys feel about this tool right now?
That's good.
Good? You like it better than the last one already? Yeah, maybe?
Yeah.
No, it's okay to say no.
It seems to be more like flexible, more like you can be at ease a little bit more, as opposed to it seems so tight. 2008 just seems so tight. They're a little wind it up to a little bit too tight on the
So,
eggs, you know. This
mhm.
is me.
I agree.
Did this session help you guys to alleviate any fears or anything? Did this help at all?
Yes, Lily.
I
Makes
believe
you
you.
a little bit more relaxed, a little bit,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
It gave us something to start talking about and to each other about, you know, oh,
Mm-hmm.
remember this, or I didn't quite understand this. How do you think we can do this? That type of thing. So,
Okay. So, all right. Now I cannot, Teachstone is copyrighted. I cannot send you copies of the Dimension Guide. So unfortunately I
You
can't.
said it's worth buying, right? You said it's what, $35?
It is $35. Yep. Let me,
you
just,
send us
Let
the
us know
link to
how
buy
we
it, or
can.
how does that work?